Hey guys, it's me King Diablo, and in today's video I'll show you the character balance patch in Korea server. This is the part 2 of this video, so if you haven't watched the part 1, I will link it down in the description below, and you can also check it out from my channel. So first let's start with Titan class buff. This is the first buff scale for Titan class. So this skill now has frontal guard and rear super armor, but it's not applied in arena. Now this buff only applies to the base skill and not the flow of the skill. Is the second buff skill for Titan class. This skill now recovers the health of your ally standing within the attack range of this skill. It recovers 1.5% of your maximum health point to your allies, and it does not even need to hit your enemies to activate this effect. But this one does not recover your own health. Finally, the passive skill for Titan class has also been buffed. So now when you are in beast form, you gain immunity to the stun status effect, but it's not applied in arena. Also now when in beast form, all your health recovery skills now recover 15% more health points. And now when you hit an enemy successfully by using an attack after using a forward dodge, it also recovers another 200 health points. Now let's see Lahn class buff. So now when you hit an enemy successfully by using the last state of the Falling Blossom, Crescent Barrage, Dance of Death, Pendulum Pirate and Deadly Sortie skills, it reduces the cooldown of your dodges by 1 second. Also, when you hit an enemy successfully with the last state of the Blooming Slash, Briar of Thorns, Toiling Strike, Pendulum Kick and Crescent Tango skills, it reduces the cooldown of your dodges by 0.5 seconds. Now let's see Kunoichi class buff. So the passive skill for Kunoichi class has been buffed. The increased skill damage by consuming a seal effect has now been changed to increase skill damage by 15% for 15 seconds when consuming a seal. Also now when you consume a seal, you instantly enter your stealth mode. For one seal consumed, your stealth mode lasts for 3 seconds. For 2 seals consumed, your stealth mode lasts for 4 seconds, and for 3 seals consumed, your stealth mode lasts for 6 seconds. Also, the bleeding that you inflict on your enemies by using Kunoichi's passive skill has also been buffed. So now for level 1 bleed effect, you deal 200 bleed damage. For level 2 bleed effect, you deal 300 bleed damage, and for level 3 bleed effect, you deal 400 bleed damage. Also now when level 3 bleed damage is already applied on your enemy, you can still apply level 1 and level 2 bleed damage on your enemy. Now let's see Destroyer class buff. So firstly, the passive skill for Destroyer class has been buffed. So now the mana bar for Destroyer class has been replaced with an overheat bar. So now when the overheat effect is active and you use the skills Firebomb, Bombardment, Flamebuster and Funeral Blast skills, it adds 20 overheat points to your overheat bar. Also now when your overheat effect is active and you use Firebomb, Bombardment, Flamebuster and Funeral Blast skills, they do a long ranged attack. Also now when your overheat bar is at 100 or more point, you can now consume all your overheat points by using Slugfest or Bombardment skill, and this gives you frontal guard for 2 seconds, but it's not applied in arena. Also when your overheat bar is at 100 points, you can also use the skill Furious Bash, and it will consume all your overheat bar and increase your skill damage by 20%. The skill damage increase stacks with the skill damage buff from the Hellraiser skill. This is the first buff skill for Destroyer class. The attack speed of the skill has increased, and the days on first state on the flow of this skill has now been changed to knockback on first state. Also, the PvP damage of the skill has increased. This is the second buff scale for Destroyer class. The attack range and PvP damage of the scale has increased. This is the third buff scale for Destroyer class. You can now use the additional movement flow of this scale by consuming 40 overhit points instead of 60 mana points. This is the fourth buff scale for Destroyer class. The attack speed for the additional attack flow of the scale has been increased, and the PvE and PvP damage of the scale has also increased. Also, this skill can now be linked with Flame Buster and Bombardment skills. And when the overheat effect is active, using this skill launches a long ranged attack. This is the last buff scale for Destroyer class. The PvP damage of the scale has increased. So if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. I'll see you in the next video.